Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcoming you, all of you, in our today's lecture class. Topic is heart failure. So today we are going to discuss about the disease of heart, or heart failure. So before going to the main lecture, we are going to know about the definition of heart failure. Heart failure describes the clinical syndrome that develops when the heart cannot maintain an adequate cardiac output. Heart pumps blood inadequately, leading to reduced blood flow, backup, congestion of blood in the veins and lungs, and other changes that may further weaken the heart. Comes to the classification of heart failure. Failure classification system. Two main classification. New York Heart Association NYHN functional classification of heart failure. It is stages from class 1 to class 4 and heart association stages of heart failure. Newer one stages from A to D. American Heart Association classification of heart failure. Stages A. Patients at high risk for heart failure but without structural heart disease or symptoms of heart failure. Examples: hypertension, diabetes mellitus, obesity, coronary artery disease, post-MI, revascularization, peripheral vascular disease, CVA, family history, and exposure to cardiac toxin. Stage B, regarding patient with structural heart disease but without sign and symptoms of heart failure. Example, prior MI, left ventricular hypertrophy, or reduced LVEF, asymptomatic valvular heart disease. Stage C, patient with structural heart disease with prior or current symptoms of heart failure. Example, known structural heart disease and dyspnea, fatigue, reduced exercise tolerance. Stage D, patient with refractory heart failure requiring specialized intervention. Example is marked symptoms at rest despite maximal medical therapy with recurrent hospitalization. Now comes to the New York Heart Association classification of heart failure. Class 1, it is regarding as a mild heart failure. Symptoms are no limitation of physical activity. Ordinary physical activity does not cause undue fatigue. Rapid, irregular heartbeat, that is called palpitation or shortness of breath. Class 2, that is also mild form of heart failure. The patient comes with the symptoms of slight limitation of physical activity, comfortable at rest, but ordinary physical activity result in fatigue, rapid irregular heartbeat, palpitation, or shortness of breath. Class 3, it is moderate form of heart failure. Symptoms are marked limitation of physical activity, comfortable at rest, but less than ordinary activity causes fatigue, rapid, irregular heartbeat, and shortness of breath. Class 4, severe form of heart failure. The patient came with the symptoms of unable to carry out any physical activity without discomfort. Symptoms of fatigue, rapid irregular heartbeat, or shortness of breath, dyspnea are present at rest. If any physical activity is undertaken, discomfort increases. Comes to the way or the mechanism of heart failure. The causes are the reduced ventricular contractility, ventricular outflow obstruction, ventricular inflow obstruction, ventricular volume overload, arrhythmia, and diastolic dysfunction. These are the causes that that makes the heart fail. The causes now we discuss about the um, mechanism of how it happens in our body. Uh, in case of reduced ventricular contractility, reduced ventricular contractility it happens actually after MI, thus MI, segmental dysfunction, myocarditis, cardiomyopathy, where the global dysfunction happened develops. The features are in coronary artery disease, akinetic or dyskinetic segments contract poorly and may impede the function of normal segment by distorting their contraction and relaxation patterns, progressive ventricular dilation. Ventricular outflow obstruction. Examples are hypertension, aortic stenosis, pulmonary hypertension, pulmonary valve stenosis. Initially, the features are concentric ventricular hypertrophy allows the ventricles to maintain a normal output by generating high systolic pressure. Later, secondary changes in the myocardium and increasing obstruction lead to failure with ventricular dilatation and rapid clinical deterioration. Ventricular inflow obstruction is due to the mitral stenosis and the tricuspid stenosis. Features a small, vigorous ventricle dilated hypertrophied atrium. Atrial fibrillation is common and often causes marked deterioration because ventricular filling depends heavily on atrial contraction. Comes to the ventricular volume overload. The examples of ventricular volume overload are ventricular septal defect, right ventricular volume overload, example atrial septal defect, increased metabolic demand, it is high output. Dilatation and hypertrophy allowed the ventricle to generate a high stroke volume and help to maintain a normal cardiac output. However, secondary changes in the myocardium lead to impaired contractility and worsening heart failure. Now comes to the one of the most important causes, arrhythmia. The arrhythmias are it may be due to atrial fibrillations, cardiomyopathy, and complete heart block. Tachycardia does not allow for adequate filling of the heart, resulting in reduced cardiac output and back pressure. Persistent tachycardia causes myocardial fatigue, while bradycardia limits cardiac output even if stroke volume is normal. The diastolic dysfunction also one of the causes of uh, heart failure. Diastolic dysfunction happens due to constrictive pericarditis, restrictive cardiomyopathy, and left ventricular hypertrophy and fibrosis, and cardiac tamponade also. The features are marked fluid retention and peripheral edema, ascites, pleural effusion, elevated jugular veins, biatrial enlargement, restrictive filling pattern, and high atrial pressure. Atrial fibrillation may cause deterioration. Good systolic function but poor diastolic filling. Hypotension, elevated jugular veins, pulses, paradoxus, poor urine output. The vicious cycle of heart failure mechanism. Comes to the factors that may precipitate or aggravate heart failure in pre-existing heart disease. Myocardial ischemia or infarction. Intercurrent illness like infection, arrhythmia like atrial fibrillation, inappropriate reduction of therapy, administration of a drug with negative ionotropic such as beta blocker or fluid retaining properties, drug like, drugs like NSAIDs and corticosteroid, pulmonary embolism, conditions associated with increased metabolic demand like pregnancy, thyrotoxicosis, anemia, IV fluid overload like postoperative IV infusion. 'Post-operative 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 IV in Comes to the risk factors of heart failure. Primary risk factors: coronary artery disease and advancing age. Contributing risk factors are hypertension, diabetes, tobacco use, obesity, high serum cholesterol, African American descent, valvular heart disease, hypervolemia. Now comes to the acute decompensated heart failure, ADHF, and its clinical manifestation. Clinical manifestations are physical findings, orthopnea, dyspnea, tachypnea, use of accessory muscle of respiration, cyanosis, cool and clammy skin, S3 algorithm, cough with frothy and blood-tinged sputum, breath sound crackles, wheezes, and bronchi present there in lung auscultation, tachycardia, hypotension, or hypertension. Heart failure may be developed into developed into in case of left-sided heart failure or in case of the form of right-sided heart failure. In case of left-sided heart failure, the symptoms are paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, elevated pulmonary capillary wedge pressure will present, cough, crackles, wheezes, blood-tinged sputums, restlessness, confusion, orthopnea, tachycardia, exertional dyspnea, and cyanosis. Actually, they are the clinical symptoms that the patient might complain about this. Shortness of breath, swelling of feet, and like the shoes will fit, uh, not fit on your feet, shoes, chronic lack of energy, fatigue, difficulty in sleeping at night due to breathing problem. The patient will be woken up. And swollen or tender abdomen with loss of appetite, cough with frothy sputum, increased urination at night, confusion and or impaired memory. Right heart failure. In case of right-sided heart failure, the signs and symptoms are fatigue, weakness, lethargy, weight gain, increased abdominal girth, anorexia, right upper abdominal quadrant pain, elevated neck veins, hepatomegaly. There may not see sign of LPA, left ventricular failure. The question here might come to your mind that you have right ventricular failure without left ventricular failure. Yes, it is possible. So what we call it is this is called pulmonary. Pulmonary or right-sided heart failure is an enlargement of the right ventricle due to high blood pressure in the lung, usually caused by chronic lung disease. These are the symptoms and signs present in case of right heart failure and left heart failure in patients. In case of right-sided heart failure, the will be raised, hepatomegaly, the liver will be increased in size, acidity will be there, and peripheral pitting edema. These are the main things of criteria get in case of right heart failure. In case of left heart failure, there is also raised GBP, but it might not be like the right one. There will be the raised jugular venous pressure. Pulmonary edema, in case of um, in case of right heart failure, what we see happen we see that liver will increase in size. And in case of left heart failure, you can see the heart size of the heart will be increased. That is called cardiomegaly. And poor division we see here in case of left heart failure and the pitting edema. Key is to understanding heart failure. Legs, ankles, feet. Blood from feet and legs. Backup of fluid and pressure in these areas as the heart unable to pump blood as promptly as received. Increased fluid within feet and legs. Pedal and dependent edema will be developed and increased in weight. This is the dependent edema. You see in your leg. This is the raised JBP. In case of raised JBP, you can see the lobar pressure will be dilated. Your vein will be dilated. Heart failure and investigations. What we will do in case of a heart failure patient, we will do surely some investigations. The investigations are the ECG, chest X-ray, complete blood counts, that is CBC, urine analysis, serum electrolytes including calcium and magnesium, blood urea nitrogen, and serum creatinine, glucose, fasting lipid profile, liver function test, thyroid stimulating hormone, cardiac troponins, nucleic peptide BMP, atrial blood gas. Besides this, all this investigation, we will also do important. We also need to do an important investigation that is called echocardiography. Echocardiography is very useful and should be considered in all patients with heart failure in order to determine the etiology, detect the true unsuspected valvular heart disease such as occult mitral stenosis and other conditions that may be amenable to specific remedies. Identify patients who will benefit from long-term drug therapy such as ACE inhibitor. There is a chest X-ray of a normal patient. This is a chest X-ray of a normal patient. And what will change in case of heart failure? Chest X-ray of a patient with heart failure. There is the pulmonary edema. You can see the changes in the heart failure patient. Marking the changes that we can see in a heart failure patient is the reticular shadowing of alveolar edema, prominence of upper lobe blood vessels, enlarged hilar vessels, Carlis B lines, or septal or Carlis B line, enlarged cardiac shadow, and usually coexisting chronic heart failure. Sharp line, it is called Carlis B line. It is developed in case of heart failure. This is the ventricular remodeling. This is a normal structure of the normal patient of a normal patient with no cardiac disease. Due to pressure on the heart, the muscle of the heart thickened. It is called ventricular hypertrophy. The muscle of the heart is thickened and enlarged. What will happen when the remodeling done? dilated, muscle become thin, the dilatation, the concentration. So this is due to hypertrophy. The space becomes narrow, and then in case of dilatation, the cavity becomes dilated, will be dilated. The walls become thin. Another comes to the general measurement management of heart failure. First of all, education, very important things. Explanation of nature of disease, treatment and self-help strategy. Diet, good general nutrition and weight reduction for the obese patient. Avoidance of high salt food and added salt, especially for patients with severe congestive heart failure. In case of alcohol, moderation and elimination of alcohol consumption. Alcohol-induced cardiomyopathy requires abstinence. Smoking as procedures. Exercise, regular moderate aerobic exercise within limit of symptoms. And vaccination, consider influenza and pneumococcal vaccination. Management of acute pulmonary edema. This is an acute medical emergency. Seat the patient up to reduce pulmonary congestion, use oxygen, high flow oxygen, high concentration, non-invasive positive pressure ventilation. Continuous positive airways pressure, CPAP, 5 to 10 millimeter of mercury by a tight-fitting face mask resulting in a more rapid clinical improvement. Administer nitrates such as IV glycerin trinitrate, buccal glycerin trinitrate, treated up to every 10 minutes until clinical improvement occurs or systolic BP falls to less than 10 millimeter of mercury. Administer a loop diuretic such as furosemide, can reduce the symptoms. The patient will feel comfort after giving this. The shortness of breathing will decrease at that time. Become easier to take breath. The patient should initially be kept rested with continuous monitoring of cardiac rhythm, blood pressure, and pulse oximetry. Intravenous opiate must be used sparingly in distressed patients as they may cause respiratory depression and exacerbation of hypoxemia and hypercapnia. If these measures prove ineffective, inotropic agent may be required to augment cardiac output, particularly in hypotensive patients. Insertion of an intra-aortic balloon pump may be beneficial in patients with acute cardiogenic pulmonary edema and shock. Comes to the chronic heart failure, management of chronic heart failure. As usual, the general measures, education of patient and their relatives about the causes and treatment of heart failure can help adherence to management plan. Some patients may need to weigh themselves daily as measures of fluid load and adjust their diuretic therapy accordingly. Treatment of the underlying cause of heart failure, such as coronary artery disease, is important to prevent its progression. Drug therapy, cardiac function can be improved by increasing contractility, optimizing preload, or decreasing afterload. Drugs that reduce preload are appropriate in patients with high end diastolic filling pressure and evidence of pulmonary or systemic venous congestion. Those that reduce afterload or increase myocardial infarction. General measures for the management of heart failure. As we have mentioned earlier, the education, very important things, explanation of the nature of disease, treatment, and self-help strategy. Diet, good general nutrition, and weight reduction for the obese. Evidence of high salt food and added salt, especially for patients with severe congestive heart failure. In case of alcohol, moderation and elimination of alcohol consumption. Alcohol-induced cardiomyopathy requires abstinence. Smoking cessation, exercise regular, moderate aerobic exercise within limit of symptoms. Consider influenza and pneumococcal vaccination. drug that we used in heart failure is ARB, ACE inhibitor. But I would like to choose ARB because of compared to ACE inhibitor. ARB are better tolerated and have similar efficacy in reducing cardiovascular events. ARBs reduce cardiovascular morbidity and mortality in patients with symptomatic heart failure who are intolerant to ACE inhibitor. Unfortunately, they share all the more serious adverse effects of ACE inhibitor, including renal dysfunction and hyperkalemia. ARB are normally used as an alternative to ACE inhibitor. The two can be combined in patients with resistant or recurrent heart failure. Other than ACE inhibitor and ARB, there is also some other medicine that we can add to the treatment plan, such as such as vasodilator, nitrates, beta receptor blocker, and the beta blocker, and the ivermectin. Digoxin can be used in case of patient with valvular heart disease, especially with mitral valvular heart disease, and heart failure happens due to mitral valvular disease. At that time, patient we can use digoxin and it will give a better outcomes. Midodrine can be used also. It is basically an anti-arrhythmic drug. So you can use it also here. Implantable cardiac defibrillator and resynchronization therapy, coronary revascularization that is due to the coronary artery disease. So when the heart failure happens due to coronary arterial disease, such as the blockage in the coronary artery, so and in that case, coronary revascularization would help us to alleviate the symptoms of cardiac heart failure. Get more comfort at this after this revascularization. Last of all, we can know heart transplantation, although it is very expensive and time-consuming matter. It is not possible in all countries also. There is chance of rejection, accelerated atherosclerosis, and infection also. Another procedure is called ventricular assist devices we can use. Because of the limited supply of donor organs, ventricular assist devices have been employed as a bridge to cardiac transplantation, potential long-term therapy, short-term restoration of therapy following a potential reversible insult like viral myocarditis. It is not possible at that time in case of heart failure in our country like us. But it is better to know about the procedure. It is done in the first world. Now comes to the complications. In advanced heart failure, the following may occur. The renal failure is caused by poor renal perfusion due to low cardiac output and may be exacerbated by diuretic therapy, angiotensin converting enzyme ACE inhibitors, and angiotensin receptor blockers. Hypokalemia might be occurs there also due to excessive use of diuretics, hyperkalemia might be also developed there, particularly due to use of ACE inhibitor drugs. Hyponatremia is a feature of severe heart failure is poor prognostic sign may be caused by diuretic therapy, inappropriate water retention due to high ADH secretion, failure of the cell membrane, and impaired liver function, thromboembolism, atrial ventricular arrhythmias are very common. Cases of atrial and ventricular arrhythmias are very common, may be related to electrolyte changes, the underlying cardiac disease, and proarrhythmic effect of symptomatic activation. Atrial fibrillation occurs in approximately 20% of patients with heart failure and causes further impairment of cardiac function. Sudden death occurs in up to 50% of patients with heart failure and is often due to ventricular arrhythmia. Frequent ventricular activity beats and ransom non-sustained ventricular tachycardia are common finding in patients with heart failure and associated with an advanced prognosis. This is all about the heart failure and its management and its symptoms, signs and symptoms, managements, investigations, and as well as the treatment plan. You enjoy your class. Take care. Thank you very much. Questions here. No issues.